On this AV Social, we talk about the biggest marketing challenges of 2017. What tools do some marketers use to help automate and stay connected with clients? And also, what advice would they give to brand new marketers? All that and more next on this AV Social.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is AV Social, episode 27, recorded Friday, October 6th, 2017. Marketing ROI.
Support for AVNation is brought to you by Peerless AV, the official outdoor display provider of Daytona International Speedway.
This is the AV Social Show. My name is Tim Albright. I am your host. With us to talk about all things social media, marketing, and a little bit of international stuff, which we'll get to in a second. First and foremost, her name is Haley Klein. I've known her for 100 years, and she currently works for PSNI. How are you, madam?
Good, thanks.
Also with us, a couple folks I've actually met through PSNI. First is Lisa Remo. Lisa works for HB Communications. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me. It's my first podcast. I'm excited.
Well, good. Also with us, his name is Mike Kirby, but everybody that knows him just calls him Kirby. Kirby works for GenCom. How are you, brother?
Excellent. My first podcast as well, so I'm excited.
Well, this will be fun. Haley's an old pro though. She's done thousands of these. So, all right. So here's what we got to do. We're recording this the first part of October, and I kind of wanted to go over. This is not quite end of the year, but it's close enough. We're getting towards we're in the third quarter of the fourth quarter of the year. So let's kind of go through what some of the challenges you guys have had this year, some ways you've overcome some of those challenges, and maybe a little bit of look ahead to what 2018 may or may not hold. Lisa, I want to start with you on this. When it comes to marketing and maybe even social media, you can take either one.
Yep.
What has been your biggest challenge in 2017?
Well, so I've been working for HB Communications for about 2 years now. And this past year, we've really tried to ramp up some of our kinds of campaign builds. And I've been really working hard at trying to prove the value of marketing since I got here. And I have a need to be strategic in what I do. So there has to be a reason for the effort. And for me personally, it's been a challenge trying to study, understand the market, what drives business growth within it. And within our different lines of businesses as well, what kinds of campaigns should be built that could produce the best results for the different lines of businesses have been a challenge. But we're doing a lot of trial and error and experimentation. So I think we're starting to get there with that and trying to tie at the end goal really is just to try to tie specific campaigns to revenue. Okay. I think we all try to do that with marketing now that things have changed so much in the marketing landscape and the expectation to now drive revenue is interesting. And all of these is probably the biggest challenge this year for us.
How do you, it's one of the things is in my understanding of the marketing world is a lot of times in companies, just general statement here about companies, marketing is seen as a cost center, right? Now, not a revenue generator. You mentioned the fact that you're trying to tie marketing campaigns to revenue.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah. There's numerous steps in that. I think it starts with, in an ideal scenario, you would have a lot of your systems integrated on the back end so that you can tie all the moving parts from marketing to sales and down to finance on the back end's all tied together. And then you could use data to try to match your campaigns to ROI. And it's a pretty lengthy process to have that happen. So for me right now, it's I take certain parts and I try to keep certain data in check and try to connect with my sales team. It's a lot about alignment. Okay. And so I try to pull resources within the company to try to tie those together. Right now, it's a very manual process, but in the future, we hope that it's a little more automated. We have marketing attribution spreadsheets where we try to tie in some of the campaign elements, the data that I have on the campaign side, and then walk over to sales and their systems and try to do that kind of matching of data. So it's pretty complicated. We're not quite there yet, but it's exciting to be a part of that kind of evolution.
So tracking where the actual customer came in and then following them all the way through.
Yeah, all the way through. Yeah.
All right, Kirby, same kind of question, sir. How do you, what's been some of your challenges this year?
Yeah, so I'd echo Lisa to some extent. ROI has become big for us. We need to prove what we're doing is actually generating results instead of just getting our name out there. That used to be the phrase, we're getting our name out there. Now it's what are we actually closing because of our marketing. We probably, our biggest struggle has been the very top line, and I think Lisa kind of hit on it too, but we're really trying to drill down and say, who are our target clients, what are their issues, and what are the things we can produce for them content-wise that's valuable. So we actually start mapping out what their pain points are and getting that content, rather than just saying, here's a bunch of stuff that we do, let's throw it out there and see who bites. We're now being very specific who we're targeting, who we're emailing. Let's go to social media and find those target people.
See, I find this interesting. The more I learn about the marketing world, and specifically about the AV marketing world, I come from broadcast, right? And I was a producer, and we were on the air and stuff like that. And one of the correlation here I'm going to make is you talk about your target customer, right? Who is your target customer? Who are you trying to talk to? In the broadcasting world, we call them a target market, right? Same thing though. You're trying to define who you're talking to and create content based on that. You take a look at it, it's the last station I worked for was a AAA station. Our target market, our person we were talking to was a 30-year-old soccer mom driving a minivan. Not making that up, by the way. But you guys are trying to define, and I'm sure all of you have several verticals, right? Whether it's medical or it's education or it's corporate, Fortune 500. Each of those verticals has a different target market. Each of those verticals has a different customer. And I just, both of you talked about, who you're talking to. And I find it fascinating. So,
yeah.
Haley, you guys have got, you had a couple of different interesting challenges. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. So I'm just going to ask you straight up what one of your challenges were, because I think I know what one of them were, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, a few of them. So, there's a perception of PS&I within our market of being a buying group. And I think PS&I is so much more than that. So I think changing perspectives within our industry on what PS&I all has to offer to an integrator and a manufacturer, and kind of where we can benefit them and the relationships, that was a big one. And then obviously we're so active on recruitment. So getting new people involved in PS&I, getting new integrators, new manufacturing partners, and then expanding that globally as our most recent initiative has been huge. So going after different markets that we've never played before, finding new integrators, leveraging the existing relationships that we already have with our manufacturers, and then expanding upon them to go global, and making sure that they're the right fit for our existing community has been huge for us. So definitely a big challenge, one that's been a lot of fun. We've learned a lot from it. But yeah, I'd say that's kind of one of our big ones.
That was going to be my next segment here is talking about PS&I's move to an international body for a number of years. And I want to say from its inception, it was primarily North America, right? At first the US and then North America. You guys have, as of your Super Summit in February, it expanded out into international, actually a little bit beforehand, but that's so the next kind of question here, and actually, Lisa, I want to start with you and come back to you, Haley. HB this year opened an office in I want to say London. Mm-hmm. How is marketing in the US, let's just say, or North America, different than marketing internationally? Obviously, you guys have a specific example in UK, but just in general, what's the difference?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because we're not quite in a position to be like marketing globally. I will say though that through the years of providing like support for our domestic clients, we have been able to build a global partnership with over like many system integrators across major countries, and we continue to grow that way and support our global customers. But how it would be different, I would imagine it would be a lot more complicated. There would be a lot more moving parts, and we're doing those kinds of things now in-house. Not quite developing a global marketing strategy or anything like that, but we have assembled through the years our global teams, but building scalable processes would be super important when you're talking about trying to market locally in a different country. You got to prioritize those markets and know who you're tapping into. So it's certainly a lot of moving parts and very complicated. And as a small marketing team, we're not quite there to do that globally. But it's been amazing how I know for a fact that last year we had supported our global, our customers' needs globally in like over 30 countries. And that is, a direct correlation to our partnerships that we have overseas.
Well, it's also something that you can leverage in your marketing efforts of saying, look, we've done this. We've been in 20, 30 countries.
Yeah, true.
We may not be in your backyard, but we've been there. We've done that. And we have the T-shirt and the scars to prove it.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Klein, how do you reach out? I mean, you've gotten, you started this in February. You already have a number of international non-US partners who've joined PSNI. How do you reach out to those folks, and how do you reach out to more?
Yeah, so for us, it was taking a look at the goals. So our goals were, we need to grow, but we want to have huge growth. And we want to make sure that any of our existing integrators has partners anywhere throughout the world. So how we had to tackle that kind of was basically, okay, first we need to get the word out. So we need to contact trade pubs. We need to go to different events. We need to get word of mouth with existing partners. So first of all, it was a big communication effort. How are we going to get our name out there? How are we going to get people to be visible to us? How are we going to communicate effectively once they are? And then basically it was, once we started to bring people in and educate them on who PSNI was and start to have those initial phases, we had to establish some kind of 24/7 communication portal, some way that they can access us at all times. So that a lot of that is automated efforts. So there's great tools out there, thankfully, that helps us to automate, our contact with these people on a day-to-day basis. And then we have existing portals so that, we have these chat forums. So that it's all about building a team. Once you bring in the global people, you need to make them feel as much of a team as all these guys in North America who have known us for 30 years. We've now got people who have been with us for 6 months and need to understand that they're a part of a big family. And so, a mechanism to have them share their success and their failure and start to share team aspects of things, and how can they win together, and how do they lose together, and how do they just effectively come together, was all really important. So, we've launched several different, we have a private network, an intranet basically of where all of our people can come together and they can communicate with one another effectively and share these wins and losses. We're still actively pursuing all different media reaches. We're actively going after different trade shows. We've got one guy just dedicated to going all around the world and trying to spread the PSNI message. So it really, for us, with our goal being growth, we had to look at it from, okay, how do we achieve that? It wasn't about bringing in revenue. It was about bringing in growth so that ultimately our integrators can grow. And so that's how we tackled it.
You both, Lisa and Haley, mentioned using tools and using processes. Kirby, I want to start this question off with you. At AVNation, we use HubSpot, right? I had looked at several different automation platforms probably for the last 2 or 3 years. We had never done email really, really well. And we have a great partner in a company called Pivot Communications, and they turned us on to HubSpot and held my hand and walked me through and explained all the goods and the bads and everything. And so we signed up about a year ago. That's our tool, right? That's the tool we use to reach out to folks. It's the tool I use for sales, for underwriting, and other things. So what are the tools that you use, Kerb, to get your message out and to maybe automate and also stay connected to your clients?
So it must be contagious, or maybe it's Jane, because we also use Pivot, and she's talked us into HubSpot as well, and we love it. It has taken what we thought would be 2 or 3 more marketing people and made it into a part-time marketing position for us, which is great. So we have a 20-hour-a-week marketing person besides me that I think we would need 2 or 3 more people if we didn't use HubSpot. And some of that goes back to the strategic planning, what we talked about a minute ago, that we're trying to drill down become or create our buyer personas and figure out who we're trying to talk to. Once we get that information, we can now with HubSpot go in and really target whatever it is, social media, email campaigns. We can see our website visitors and get that right over to sales and say, hey, did you know this guy's looking at the whatever section of the website? You should maybe call him in the next day or two or later today. Or so I do think whether it's HubSpot or some other platform, I think it's really important to invest in some of these new online tools that are out there because they're by far a lot cheaper than hiring a giant marketing team and they're very effective, I think.
Yeah. Lisa, same kind of question. What sort of tools and do you guys use at HB?
Yeah, we're also using HubSpot.
Oh, good Lord. I'm going to
I know. When I started a couple years ago, we were doing the onboarding of the tool, and it's amazing what it can do, the power that it has. And like I think I mentioned in the first question, we're working internally on the system backend integrations and HubSpot's that, it's going to be the last piece that connects, but it's really exciting to know the potential of what the tool can do later for us. But I'm always big on the tech stuff. And, as we know, as marketers, the marketing tech stack, the MarTech stack, I'm always looking for those add-on tools onto HubSpot that can help me do my job a little more efficiently. I can name like 10 and I'm always like, I need more, marketing spend to be able to do this so I could be faster and quicker and more efficient. So it's all exciting, but yeah, we also use HubSpot and it's terrific.
All right. Haley, last same to you. What tools do you guys use? Don't say it.
We're kind of on HubSpot. We're on the HubSpot free version because we're not there yet. But that's still a powerful tool. So we have a smaller budget, and so therefore we are so good about finding tools that are powerful, that don't cost a lot of budget. So if anybody ever needs help with that, I could give you a slew of them. My God, we are using so many tools, but ultimately it's nice because they kind of all work together. So we're on HubSpot, we're on Contact, we're on Unbounce, we're on several different geo-targeting plugins. We've got so much different stuff, but they all work together very effectively. Ultimately, we hope to move towards HubSpot. But yes.
All right. Lisa, I want to start with you on this one. If you had the opportunity to sit down and mentor or talk to a brand new marketing person, I don't mean somebody that's fresh out of college, but I'm talking about so many marketing people that I run into in the AV industry aren't from the AV industry. Right.
Oh yeah.
They great marketing folks. They've got lots of years of experience, very successful, and they find themselves in an audiovisual company suddenly. And I've heard the term getting caught up, or the fire hose of information from everything from what the heck a switcher is in the AV world versus what it is in the IT world, to what the frick a stream is, what is bandwidth, what's a lumen, right? All this stuff. How would you mentor? What advice would you give to a new marketer or someone who's just starting out?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I would consider myself one of those new marketers as it pertains to the industry. And I think it's really important, I think in business in general now, but very specifically in our industry with the whole IT AV convergence, is to be agile. And what I mean by agile is you have to be quick, resourceful, and adaptable. So I would recommend being adaptable to change and taking the time to research and learn as much as you can, but understanding that it changes so fast that it's okay, that you can be, experiment and learn as you go. Because it's not only changing for us in our marketing worlds, but it's changing in IT and it's changing everywhere. So be agile, ask questions, be curious, continue to learn. Those are all the things I would recommend for somebody, and especially coming into the AV side.
All right, Kirby, what advice would you give to a brand new marketer?
I would probably say very similar to Lisa, but to not repeat what she said and maybe add a little difference. Probably the biggest thing is be okay wearing multiple hats. Like I said, I've got one marketing person. I don't know how many Lisa has. I know Haley's just herself. We've had some people in the past that come in and go, well, I'm a graphic artist. That's what I do. And I go, but I need you to write content. Oh, I don't do that. we don't have 20 or 30 people on our staff for marketing. You've got to be a graphics person, a content person, a social media person. And it's okay to say, I'm not good at this. And that's okay. We do a lot of 1099 work because our marketing person says, here's my strengths and I'm going to sub out the rest. But you've got to be versatile. And I'd really echo Lisa, though, probably the biggest thing still is, just be curious, learn, constantly learn, whether it's more marketing materials, industry materials. There's a lot out there, and I feel like there's still a ton to learn every day. So.
Haley has an interesting perspective in the fact that she not only has been a marketing person for PSNI, but before that, she was a marketing person for a manufacturer. So regardless of whether they're entering the manufacturing world or as an integrator, an association, what advice would you give someone who's starting out?
Yeah, one of my favorite things when I started at Vadio, somebody said to me, it's going to take you at least a year to understand what it is we even do. Mm-hmm. And it was so true, though. My advice, and then that's true when I went from Vadio to PSNI, it's such a different side of the spectrum, too. It's such a different... I thought manufacturers had it all figured out. Now I'm over at PSNI and I'm understanding so much more from a manufacturing perspective. I understand so much more from an integrator perspective. I understand so much more. And then from my own association perspective, there's so much more to it. So I would advise, or the best advice I could give is get involved. Try to, there's, Infocom's got the AVSocials and all that kind of stuff, work towards your CTS. That's just a good way to understand the industry a little bit better. Get involved in, there's so many different communities established with our industry. So get involved wherever you can on those different like young AV committees or, whoever this person may be that's of interest to them. Just get involved, I think, is going to be the best way to get you excited about the industry and then help you to understand the industry. That would be my best advice.
All right. As we wrap up here, Kirby, we'll start with you on this. What is your secret weapon? If you had to, this is the one thing or the one advice or the one skill you have that if you took it away, Kirby would be no more. What is your secret weapon?
Well, this may be kind of cheesy, but those of you who know me will completely disagree. But but I think the most important thing for me is I just have fun all the time. I love our industry. I love what we sell. We're solving people's problems. It's just fun. And so whatever I do, I just have fun all the time. And that's probably my biggest strength. And we probably waste a lot of money on me just having fun. But that's why I think hopefully
you realize we're recording this and your boss may see this, right?
I may be looking for a job. Lisa, are you hiring?
Don't give them time. Somebody will buy you. They'll buy somebody, or somebody will buy something. Yeah. Haley, same question. What is it that you have up your sleeve that nobody else does?
I just think be passionate in this industry. I mean, in any job, be passionate about what you're doing. Make sure that you love what you're doing, and you'll do it well. Honestly, that's all I can say. I can't say I can solve the world's marketing problems, but I can say I'm very excited about everything I do. So just be passionate.
All right, Lisa, last word. What is your secret weapon, ma'am?
Well, agility.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
I think I have a quick, resourceful, adaptable kind of character. And I think that lends itself well to this industry right now. And at the end of the day, I agree with the other two that doing work that matters is real important and not work that's just easy. And in marketing right now, for us in our industry, it's not easy work. But I feel like I'm doing work that matters, and that's really important to me. So,
all right, that's a very good word to end on. Thank you all so much, Mr. Kirby. How do people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Kirby Utah or mkirby at GenCom Inc. That's GenComminc.com.
All right, very good. Lisa, how do people find you and or HB Communications?
hbcommunications.com, and my email address is lisa.remo@hbcommunications.com.
All right, very good. Miss Haley, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And how do people find you or PSNI, or if they're international, how do they sign up to be a member?
Yeah, psni.org or hclient@psni.org. And we are looking for both North American and global members to join our team. And these two, Lisa and Kirby, are two of our finest. So you get to work with all of us. So yeah, if you are interested in becoming a member, please contact us at psni.com.
All right, very good. And they're also a member of the PSNI marketing team, which I got a chance to hang out with. So they're a lot of fun. So Kirby's not wrong. He just has fun.
We're all like geeking out because we know it's true.
My name is Tim Albright. Don't follow me because at this point in the season, I've given up on the Bears and now it's Go Blues. Haley,
Go Blue.
So, but go by the website if you would please, avnation.tv, avnation.tv. You'll find this program and a host of others. While you are there, check out our underwriter section. These are the folks who help us and support us financially, help us continue to do what we do, including this program. We're also hitting the road, so if you're anywhere near Barcelona or Chicago or New York or AVEC, come by and say hi. So avnation.tv, avnation.tv. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the AVSocial Show.